Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing the 2016 Chopard Mille Miglia 2016 Race Limited Edition. The watch is inspired by the Mille Miglia vintage rally that ran from 1927 to 1957, and since 1977 it has been an event for classic cars on public roads. The watch, of course, dedicated to the modern iteration. Since 1988, Chopard has been an official sponsor, and the Chopard Mille Miglia collection goes back to '88. So this model right here is a 1,000-piece limited edition, 46 millimeters in stainless steel, that is 14.5 millimeters thick and 54.3 millimeters lug-to-lug, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see that it's big. I wouldn't wear it on a smaller wrist than mine. So if your wrist is 16 centimeters circumference or larger, it's a fit. If your wrist is smaller, seek one of the smaller models. Now this watch is impressively made inside and out. It cuts an imposing figure on any forearm, no matter how big your wrist. The watch, of course, includes a number of high-grade accessories. We'll talk about the hardware and the software. This is what Chopard calls its support low leather. Now, it's calfskin, but this particular leather is highly water and sweat resistant. So if you do want to temporarily plunge your hand into water or take a quick dip, this leather can actually deal with it. Now, it can't deal with sustained submergence at depth, but this is one of the most water-resistant calfskin leathers you will ever encounter. You can see it's also cut quite thick. Calf on both sides, of course. It's a dark brown with a monotone stitch. And then we have a full deployment clasp with twin trigger release, double deployment. You can see there's a little bit of engine turning inside. The rest of it's of high polish. Some security for this heavy and expensive watch when it's on your wrist. Now, the case is simple, but as you can see, massive. It's relatively thin. It appears broad and flat, but it's long across the wrist at over 54 millimeters. You can see there's a little bit of a bevel on the end of the lugs, which feature a downturned and squared off face. The case has a rounded and polished, almost mirrored shine to it, and you can actually see me and my camera taking the shots here, so it's wonderfully smooth, almost as good as Grand Seiko Zaratsu. It's very nicely finished. We have a screw-down crown here and a 50-meter water resistance. Those two features in tandem make this a surface swimmable watch. And then we have vintage-inspired pump-style pushers and a bezel that's inset somewhat from the case band to create a more slender appearance. It kind of understates the thickness of the watch by stepping the bezel inboard, and then the bezel is domed in profile. The dial has a sunburst grain. It's difficult to see because the dial is black, but it does have a metallic sunburst grain. There's a tachymeter outboard, and you can see the calibration between 400 and 60 means that we're going to be gauging the speed of things going very fast, like cars on a road rally. Now, of course, the road rally today is not a race, but it is exciting because the cars that would have participated in the original 27 to 57 event are legal for the modern event. And you can see the little 1,000 Mille Miglia logo on the dial. Now, it is a white on black print for high contrast, and you can see that the individual registers are somewhat sunken with azurage or concentric guilloche. The watch is exceptionally well loomed, and we'll do a quick loom shot here so you can see that well. It's also a flyback chronograph, so reset and restart using only the trigger down at 4 o'clock. That's ideal for motorsports events, since you may need to time to events that occur in rapid succession. You don't need to stop this before you reset it. We'll pull the crown out. You can see one of the subsidiary setting modes, hacking second. Get that minute hand out of the way. Then you can also see that we have a quick set date. And if you look carefully, you can see that a custom typeface was used for the numerals of this date, which is a black date disc on a black dial, and that's the way they all should be. Now turn the watch over, and you can see this was a debut platform for a new movement. Previously, the Mille Miglia watches would not have included manufactured calibers, but like the Louis Ulysse Chopard series, this Mille Miglia which is individually numbered, take note, does have a manufacturer movement. As you can see, it is caliber 03.05C. The C standing for chronometer. It is a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. It is an automatic winder with a 60-hour power reserve. It is a column wheel with a vertical clutch, so you have that column wheel for crisp operation, and the vertical clutch for seamless operation with no jump or stagger when you start the chronograph. And because of the vertical clutch, you can just leave it running continuously with no hazard, wear, or tear to the movement. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, which is a modern beat rate, pivots on 45 joules, and it is adjusted in 5 positions the way a chronometer or a high horology watch should be. So there's a lot to love about this movement, which once again is an in-house caliber that Chopard created specifically for its sporting chronographs. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.